A guy just happened to see a car crash, but he accidentally found a huge business opportunity. He noticed that every time an accident happened, there'd be this pack of people rushing to the scene like hungry hyenas. They were fighting each other to get the best shots, taking pictures from every angle. They were so afraid of missing any detail, they almost stuck their cameras right in the victims' faces. Seeing how crazy these people were, Lou got curious. After they finished filming, Lou went up to one of them to chat. He wanted to know what they were doing. Turns out these guys made money by selling their news footage to TV stations for commission. As for how much money one piece of footage could get, the guy was pretty vague about it. Seemed like he didn't want an outsider to know, but Lou could tell from all the expensive equipment in his car that this had to be a really profitable job. Realizing this, Lou immediately asked if he could join them, but the guy didn't even think about it, straight up said no. Lou tried to keep selling himself, but then the radio announced another accident. The guy quickly called his partner to get in the car and sped off. Getting rejected didn't discourage Lou at all. Actually, he got kind of excited. Right now he was just an unemployed drifter who survived by stealing stuff like iron fences and manhole covers for cash. What really bugged him was that every time he tried to sell this stolen stuff, the scrapyard owner would totally lowball him. The guy obviously knew what Lou was up to, so Lou barely made any money from all this risky stealing. Finally, he decided he wanted to find a real job, but the job market sucked, and he had no experience. Nobody wanted to hire him. In the end, he even offered to work for free as an intern at the scrapyard, but the owner just looked down on him completely. Right then, Lou hit rock bottom. He felt like his future was totally dark, but just when he thought he'd be lost forever, what he saw at that crash scene gave him hope again. Back home, Lou got up early and camped out in front of the TV. He flipped through every news channel. Soon enough, he found last night's story. Right then, Lou's heart started racing. He went to a park and spotted an expensive bike. After the owner left, he sold it for $800. Then he used that money to buy a camera and a police scanner. Since nobody would take him in, he'd go solo. That night he parked by the road, listening to the scanner over and over. But he quickly realized he'd underestimated how hard this job was. Just the police codes alone made his head spin, let alone figuring out what info was actually useful. After studying for hours, he finally understood there was a fight happening 3 miles away. Lou got excited and drove over, but when he got there, the cops were already on scene, and none of his so-called competitors were anywhere to be found. Lou didn't overthink it. He started filming right away, but the cops quickly kicked him out, so he had to rush to the next scene. After a whole night of running around, all he got was fights and drunk driving, and because the cops kept pushing him away, his footage was basically worthless. Then while getting gas, he heard about a shooting on the radio. Lou knew this was big news. He rushed to the scene again, but when he got there, same story as before. Cops and paramedics were already there, and this time, other photographers were already filming. Lou quickly grabbed his camera and started copying what they did, but he soon realized his cheap camera was no match for their professional gear. Even if he got footage, no TV station would want his stuff. So Lou decided to take a risk. He snuck past the paramedics and got close to the victim. He secretly filmed the injured person, but a cop spotted him and kicked him out again. This time he even got the other photographers in trouble. One of them cursed Lou out, but the guy had already gotten enough footage, so he didn't make a big deal of it. He quickly called the TV station. Lou quietly followed behind him, listening to the whole negotiation. The guy ended up selling his footage for $300. Hearing that tempting price, Lou decided to try his luck at the TV station too, but when he brought his footage to the producer, they weren't interested. Turns out they already had footage of the incident, but then Lou mentioned he had some more graphic shots. That got their attention. Nina, the station manager, needed more impactful footage to grab viewers, and Lou's risky shots, even though they were blurry, had exactly the bloody content Nina wanted. Lou ended up selling his first piece for $250. While collecting his payment, Lou asked Nina what kind of footage the station was looking for. He'd noticed that fights and drunk driving incidents got no attention, and the cops kept kicking him out, which wasted a lot of his time. Turns out not all news gets public attention. The station found that viewers were really into crime stories, and if you could add some racial elements, even better. Besides that, anything about people's safety, fires, car crashes, would also grab viewers' interest. Lou suddenly understood. He told Nina he got the essence of news now. He was sure they'd meet again soon. The next day when Lou saw his news on TV, he felt excited and accomplished. This motivated him to keep going. After last night's experience, Lou went online and memorized all the police codes. He needed to get police info more efficiently, but he knew that wasn't enough. He needed an assistant to boost his efficiency. Lou interviewed this street guy Rick. Rick had been unemployed for 6 months, couldn't pay rent, so he was living in an underground station. He desperately needed work. After some negotiation, Lou hired him for just $30 a night. To get Rick up to speed, Lou drove to the roadside and taught him all the police codes he'd just learned. They waited until it got completely dark. Finally, news of a fire came through the radio. They immediately headed to the scene. Lou drove while Rick checked the GPS and gave directions, but their first teamwork didn't go well. Lou was driving super fast and kept pressuring Rick. Rick got nervous and gave wrong directions. They ended up taking a huge detour to get there. By then, the other photographers had already finished and were packing up. Hearing their slightly mocking comments, Lou got really angry, but he didn't show it. He knew good communication was the way to solve problems. They got back on the road. Soon they reached another shooting scene, But unfortunately, the cops had already sealed off the area. Lou couldn't get in to film. He could only interview some bystanders from the outside. But that kind of footage would never sell. Lou knew if he didn't take action, tonight would be a total waste. After looking around, he noticed the back door wasn't guarded. So he risked trespassing and went inside. He searched the house with his camera. Finally, 2 bullet holes in the fridge caught his attention. He moved a family photo next to the bullet holes. Just like that, he created a powerful image. He did the same thing throughout the house. Soon he had footage he was satisfied with. As for damaging the crime scene, he didn't care at all. When he brought this footage to the TV station, Nina was really impressed. In the shot, the warm family photo next to the bullet holes created a stark contrast. It gave off this feeling of innocent people being victimized by criminals. But the editor noticed that the filming angle looked like illegal trespassing. This could have legal risks. But Nina didn't care after hearing this. She needed ratings. She didn't care about the filming process. These words made Lou start to admire Nina. Nina wasn't limited by morals and laws when it came to good content. Nina also noticed Lou's progress. A newbie who could shoot such thoughtful footage definitely had potential. And what Lou said next really raised his status in Nina's mind.
Answer the following question before you decide where to focus your abilities. The question was, what do I love to do? What am I good at? What am I not good at? I recently remade my list, and I'm thinking television news might just be something I love, as well as something I happen to be good at.
After Nina left, Lou was alone in the studio. After these 2 successes, Lou felt he'd found the key to success. He sat at the podium with the whole city behind him as backdrop, like he was declaring himself the king of this city. Right then, Lou's ambitions started growing rapidly. So in the following days, Lou used his methods to work like crazy. His filming techniques also became more bloody than before. Morals and laws gradually blurred in his mind. His footage was always better quality than his competitors. His stuff appeared on the news more and more. In just 2 months, Lou bought himself a sports car. Maybe from filming so much bloody content, Lou's mind started getting twisted. His assistant just accidentally got a few drops of gas on the car paint and got a serious scolding.
Because if you felt like that again, I will terminate you immediately, I promise you.
With better equipment, Lou drove even faster. Running red lights became routine just to get to accident scenes faster. But what really shocked people was this one night. Lou rushed to a car crash scene and found that cops and other photographers hadn't arrived yet. Even the people involved were still talking to the police on the phone. After checking out the scene, Lou found a good angle and started filming. But soon he felt like something was missing from the shot. He put down his camera and ran to the victim. He picked up the barely alive injured person and moved them to where he thought looked better. When he picked up his camera again, he had a satisfied smile on his face. By the time the cops arrived, Lou had just finished filming, and the cops had no idea he'd already messed with the scene. Lou's success couldn't be separated from his complete lack of principles. But he knew this industry only looked at results, never the process. Soon Lou's bold filming style and lightning speed caught the attention of veteran Joe. Joe wanted Lou to join his team. He just upgraded and expanded his equipment. He needed talent like Lou. If Lou joined, they could not only share Joe's police connections, but Lou's income would multiply. Maybe they could even monopolize the whole industry. This opportunity could definitely take Lou's career up several levels. But after 2 months of success, Lou had gotten pretty arrogant. He didn't want to share this pie with anyone, especially not with Joe, who'd rejected him before. Even though Lou turned down this great opportunity, he already had plans to take his career to the next level. Because he'd set his sights on Nina. That night when delivering footage to the TV station, Lou asked Nina out on a date. But Nina saw right through his intentions. She considered herself principled. She'd never get involved with work colleagues. Plus she was much older than Lou, but Lou didn't seem to care. He said he was now their main news supplier, and Nina's decision would affect the station's ratings. These words hit Nina's weak spot. She finally agreed to have a simple dinner with Lou. Lou grabbed this important opportunity. At dinner that night, after some small talk, Lou shifted the conversation to Nina's work. He'd already analyzed the TV station's situation. The news channel's ratings mainly relied on crime content, and in the past 2 months, Lou had basically monopolized all their crime news. This proved how important Lou was to them. Lou had also found out that in Nina's past career, she'd never stayed at any company for more than 2 years. The next few weeks were crucial for Nina's contract renewal. As station manager, Nina had to guarantee the station's ratings. If the renewal failed, at Nina's age, it'd be hard to find another job. Lou's importance to Nina was obvious. Then Lou used this as leverage to make a shameless demand.
I want that. With you.
He didn't actually like Nina, he just wanted her connections. Those resources could give his career more support. Lou dared to be so bold because he was confident he could win Nina over.
Like you want to keep your job and your health insurance.
After some internal struggle, Nina was forced to agree. Just like that, Lou successfully got Nina. But just when he thought his future was bright, he hit another setback. The next night, Lou got news of a plane crash. But since it happened in the suburbs, Lou was still a step too late. Police had already sealed the scene. Lou thought he'd been fast enough, but then Joe walked out from the scene. Turns out after upgrading all his equipment last time, Joe could always get information faster than others. And with his expanded team, his speed had greatly improved. Lou was no longer his match. When Lou got to the TV station, Nina found out Lou didn't have the plane crash footage, and other news channels already had the material. Nina totally lost it. She exploded at Lou. She'd put all her hopes on him. She'd even sacrificed herself for this. But Lou dropped the ball at the crucial moment. Lou felt Nina's disappointed stare, like he'd been slapped hard. Gradually, Lou's eyes turned cold. Back home, Lou watched other news channels showing Joe's footage. Right then Lou couldn't stay calm anymore. He was like an enraged beast, going crazy with anger. He wouldn't let anyone ruin his plans. Right then, an evil plan formed in his mind. If he couldn't solve the problem, he'd solve the problem itself. He found Joe's car and secretly messed with it. That night he skipped the nearest fire and deliberately went to a more distant crash scene. When they got there, his assistant realized the crash victim was Joe.
Hey, don't film that, man. He's one of us.
Not anymore, Rick. We're professionals. He's a sale.
Lou set up his camera and went to the badly injured Joe. Even though Joe was staring right at him, Lou's face showed no remorse. His heart was as calm as lake water. After filming Joe's footage, Lou continued searching the city for prey as usual. Soon he targeted a burglary in a rich neighborhood. He got to the scene in just 5 minutes. Cops and competitors hadn't arrived yet. Lou immediately grabbed his camera and rushed into the villa. He thought it was just a regular burglary, but then gunshots came from inside the villa. Lou instantly realized he'd found a big fish. He immediately turned off his lights and started filming. Soon, 2 killers were about to escape from the villa. Lou quickly hid in the bushes behind him, but he kept filming the whole time. This let him capture the killers' faces and their license plate. After confirming the killers had left, Lou quickly went into the villa with his camera. In the living room, there was a completely disfigured corpse. Lou's heart started racing. He was overjoyed inside. This was the most exciting footage he'd ever encountered. He filmed the dead person from multiple angles. Then he continued exploring the villa with his camera, like he was making a thrilling adventure film. He later found 2 more bodies in the bedroom and kitchen. When Lou finished filming and ran out of the villa, his assistant had arrived. Lou didn't tell him what just happened. Instead, they quickly left the scene. The cops passing by had no idea someone had already beaten them to it. After leaving, Lou didn't plan to give the evidence to police. Instead, he parked by the road and started editing the footage. He deliberately deleted the parts showing the killers. He only kept the footage of entering the villa, because he already had an even crazier plan in mind. When he brought this footage to the TV station, everyone's faces showed shock. The footage was not only bloody and real, but Lou had used horror film techniques while shooting. This raised the footage's intensity to another level. To get this footage on air, Nina specially asked the station's top management. After intense discussion, they decided to blur all the victims' faces. As for the price of this footage, Lou directly asked for $15,000. But Nina couldn't agree to that. That much money was their whole month's budget. She couldn't pay everything for one news story, but Lou was extremely firm. He told Nina this news would definitely cause citywide panic once it aired. For the next period, everyone would keep following the case's progress, and he would use his methods to get follow-ups on this case. Then Nina's contract wouldn't be a problem. Lou also said he didn't just want the money. He forcefully told Nina that from now on, the TV station had to show his company name when airing his footage, and he wanted to use Nina's connections to build his own network at the station.
I also want to stop our discussion over prices. This will save time. So when I say that a particular number is my lowest price, that's my lowest price. And you can be assured that I arrived at whatever that number is very carefully. Now, when I say that I want these things, I mean that I want them. And I don't want to have to ask again. And the last thing that I want, Nina, is for you to do the things that I ask you to do when we're alone together in your apartment. Not like the last time.
After each sentence, Lou would step closer to Nina. Nina felt like there was a fierce beast standing in front of her, and she was its prey. She felt like she was suffocating. That night, Nina introduced Lou to everyone at the station. She told them Lou's story. After doing all this, the news started airing on TV. To expand the news's impact, the station not only added tense music to the video, but the host repeatedly emphasized that the killers in this brutal family massacre were still on the run. Nina also followed Lou's request and had the host mention Lou's company multiple times while introducing the news. With their hype, this news instantly got widespread attention. It also made Lou's company famous overnight. But the next day, police came looking for Lou. They were there about last night's news. Lou had expected this. He explained that he did see the killers, but since it was dark, he didn't see their faces clearly. As for the footage, he only started filming after entering the villa. Police didn't doubt Lou's words. After copying the footage, they left. But little did they know, this was all part of his plan. Because after his next move, today's words would become evidence to clear his name. Lou then pulled out the footage of the killers. He used their license plate to find where they lived. That night, Lou started work early. To get Rick to cooperate with his next plan, he promised to raise Rick's hourly wage to $75. And he gave Rick an irresistible huge temptation. Just when Rick was getting excited, Lou revealed his plan. He planned to find the killer's house. After confirming their identities, he'd call police. They'd film the killers getting arrested. Given how vicious these killers were, they definitely wouldn't give up without a fight. There would definitely be a shootout. That would be even more shocking news footage. They went to the location and hid. But while waiting for the killers to show up, Lou casually mentioned tonight's $50,000 payment. This immediately made Rick feel unfair. Why should they do the same work but he only gets a few $100s? Rick immediately demanded to split tonight's earnings. Otherwise he'd report Lou's behavior. Lou looked at him in disbelief. He never expected this usually easy-to-fool guy to start threatening him today. After thinking calmly, Lou finally decided to compromise. He'd give Rick $10,000, but Rick refused. Hearing this, Lou's face instantly went cold. His eyes looked at Rick like he was looking at a dead man. But to not affect the next plan, Lou temporarily agreed to his demand. Soon enough, the killer came out of his house. After seeing him drive away, Lou quietly followed. The killer picked up another accomplice on the way. They went through several intersections and stopped at a restaurant. Lou quickly called the police. He described the killers in detail, and repeatedly reminded them that they had guns. After hanging up, the radio announced police were on their way. Lou knew the cops would arrive soon. He immediately had Rick go across from the restaurant. Rick would film the whole process with the camera. Lou would stay in the car filming from another angle. But Rick got scared right then. What if the killers spotted him while filming? He refused to get out of the car. Seeing Rick chicken out at this moment, Lou was furious.
What if I was obliged to hurt you for something like this? I mean, physically. I think you'd have to believe afterwards, if you could, that agreeing to participate and then backing out at the critical moment was a mistake. Because that's what I'm telling you. Clearly.
Rick heard the threat in Lou's voice. He finally had to get out of the car. Right after Rick set up the camera, police arrived. But they didn't act rashly. They pretended to be customers going to eat. While ordering, they secretly observed the killers. Seeing police arrive, the killers secretly pulled out guns and got alert. In less than 2 minutes, another police car arrived. They planned to enter the restaurant the same way, but the moment they stepped in, the killers immediately started shooting. Instantly, both sides had people go down. One killer got shot but managed to escape under police fire. He immediately drove away from the scene. Police quickly chased after him. Lou and Rick followed right behind them. They recorded the whole process with their camera. Soon, because they were driving too fast, at an intersection, the police car behind got hit by another car and flipped. Even so, Lou didn't stop. He kept following the killer's car. Soon another police car caught up. The two cars kept ramming each other. Finally, both crashed. Lou quickly got out. He grabbed his camera and went over. After a quick check, Lou signaled to Rick that the killer was dead. He told Rick to come over and film. But when Rick was carrying the camera to the killer's car, the killer shot Rick multiple times. Rick collapsed on the spot. After the killer stumbled out of his car, he saw Lou holding a camera in the distance. But before he could react, police sirens were already approaching. He tried to run but only got a few steps before the arriving officers shot him dead. Lou then brought his camera to Rick.
You saw it.
I can't jeopardize my company's success to retain an untrustworthy employee.
You're crazy.
You took my bargaining power, Rick. You used it against me. You would have done it again. Just admit it.
I don't know.
I know.
From filming news to creating news, from attacking competitors to eliminating his disobedient assistant, Lou went from an ambitious young man who just wanted a decent job to completely becoming a night demon. What changed him wasn't just his expanding ambition, but also his natural understanding of the news industry. Lou brought the footage to the TV station. Walking through the hallway, he easily called out everyone's name. Lou's face was full of smiles, as if he'd already forgotten about Rick's death. When Nina saw Lou's footage, she was deeply shocked again. She was also captivated by this man's charisma. But just before the news was about to air, the editor suddenly got word from police. Turns out police found a lot of illegal stuff at the killer's house. The whole case was just criminals fighting each other, not some inhuman family massacre. But surprisingly, after learning this, Nina refused to change the news theme. She knew viewers wanted to hear about urban crime, not some boring criminal-on-criminal violence. Right then Nina seemed successfully infected by Lou. She was no longer that media person who only pursued news accuracy. She'd become like Lou, a beast who'd do anything to reach her goals. Soon after the news aired, Lou was called to the police station. Police had traced that last night's 911 call came from him. Looking at both cases and last night's news footage, police were sure Lou knew more than he was saying, and he deliberately set all this up for filming. This led to one of their officers dying, but Lou had already prepared his explanation. He said his previous villa footage had made the killers track him down. After seeing the killers' faces, he remembered who they were. After losing them, he quickly called police. But police thought Lou's story was completely made up. Since they didn't have enough evidence, they couldn't charge him. They had to let him go. Not long after, Lou used his earnings to expand his team. He also upgraded to new equipment. He influenced every employee with his values. He kept training more people like him, ruthless people who do anything to reach their goals.